Hey guys, how's it going today? EsteeMcCrawly coming to you with another Wi-Fi battle. Today, this one's against Cobe. This isn't like a friend or anything. He was just a random passerby that challenged me to battle, so I accepted. And coming here in the team preview, I really liked what I saw. I liked the diversity of his team. I like teams with not so common Pokemon, and the battle turned out pretty nicely. But the only Mega Evolution option is that Aggron. And pretty interesting on the team setup. Not really a common weakness throughout his team, but I was thinking. I know that the Aggron has the potential for the Stealth Rocks, and I've seen some Roserade setting up the spikes, so I figured that he'd try and set up some entry hazards. I didn't know what he'd lead off with though, so let's get into the battle. So I had a really difficult time deciding what I was going to lead off with, since not a single one of my Pokemon would dominate his. He starts out with the Roserade, and I figured I'd go into the Gengar. I figured he'd try and set up some entry hazards early in the game, so I go straight out for the taunt. My Gengar knows taunt. I think it's quite unexpected. And you see he goes for the spikes, so he withdraws, so that tells me, I mean, grass and poison wouldn't do much on me anyways, but he goes straight into his Emboar. I'm gonna go for the Mega Evolution right here. Everyone always fears the Gengar, and so I go straight for the substitute, predicting the switch out because he had absolutely nothing for me, especially since he was taunted. So now I'm behind a sub. I'm gonna go for the Sludge Bomb for maximum damage. See, it does a pretty good chunk where it's clean 80-85%. I get the poison, which isn't gonna matter at all. And he goes for the Flare Blitz, and takes out my sub, which is to be expected. It's unfortunate that the poison damage wouldn't take him out. Otherwise, I guess it wouldn't matter anyway. But I go for another Sludge Bomb, finish him off, take care of his Emboar. So my Ferrothorn's gonna have a pretty easy time from this point out. And he goes into his Stalos, his Aggron, which is his Mega. And I didn't know what to expect from him. I know Aggron is able to learn Thunder Wave, and that's a pretty common thing. So I go for the substitute. It's kind of my protect, but I'm gonna scout him out. And he goes for the Thunder Wave, so substitute paid off there. And I'm gonna go for the taunt here. I didn't know if he was gonna try and set up the Stealth Rocks or what, so I just went for the taunt. He goes for the Iron Head. Gonna easily break my substitute, which is alright. I go for the Shadow Ball here, and after seeing 50% health, I was a little upset that I went for the taunt and not for a first Shadow Ball. Even without the special D drop, it probably would have been a 2 HKO. Like, out comes my Togekiss. I honestly should have stayed in. I could have outsped him and air slashed him, or even Dazzling Gleams with that special D drop. He would have gone down pretty easily. But I switch out into the Ferrothorn, predicting the Iron Head. So I'm gonna resist that. My defensive wall, get a little bit of Iron Barbs damage off, to get a little bit of lefties recovery going on. So I'm in pretty good shape right now against that Aggron. He's slowly losing health, and you see that his taunt wears off, and he goes for the Stealth Rocks now. So I don't know if I went for the Shadow Ball instead of for the taunt, he would have died in the first place. But I go for the Leech Seed, since it's gonna do way more damage than any attack I can get off. Plus, it's gonna regenerate me up to full health after the lefties. So my Ferrothorn's in pretty good shape. And he's gonna withdraw. I'm a little surprised he didn't go for the Thunder. Well, I guess Leech Seed, but he goes out into his Roserade now, and I take this as an opportunity to set up the Stealth Rocks. Whether he stayed in or not, I wouldn't have done much to him regardless. But against Roserade, I know he's pretty much gonna set up spikes. There's not much he could have done attack-wise to me. I'm immune to poison, quad resist grass, so he does set up another layer of spikes. So I'm in my Mega Gengar, and he's trapped in right now. I go for the Sludge Bomb. It does about half. Not more like 40%. I expected it to do a little bit more than that, but I guess isn't really bulky, or I'm just underestimating the bulk of Roserade. Takes me out with the energy ball, and that's all right. I don't need He doesn't have any fairies, so I'm not too concerned about losing my Gengar. And I want to go in my Hydreigon, hit him with the old flamethrower, and he's gonna switch out into his Umbreon, his Noctata, and this is definitely his special wall. You're gonna see. I am holding expert belt, but I'm also my special attack's like, well, I guess level 100 is 383, but I'm modest nature 252, so I'm max special attack for. So that does absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna switch out into my Ferrothorn here. I'm predicting he's just gonna try and stall me, so I'm gonna go into my Ferrothorn. He goes for the protect and it fails. Get that lefty's recovery. But I was expecting him to try and stall me with my Hydreigon out, so I go into my Ferrothorn. Since he's a special wall, I figured I'd go into one of my physical attackers. But I also throw up the Leech Seed, mostly for health recovery, but I didn't know what kind of damage my physical moves would be doing to him. I didn't know how much physically defensive he was, so I'm just gonna get a little bit of lefty's recovery and that Leech Seed recovery. I think this puts me back to full health. If not, I'll be really close. Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna put me up at full health. So my Ferrothorn's in great shape, especially with that Emboar gone. He's gonna switch out into his Roserade, which is pretty much his go-to switch in against my Ferrothorn. Pretty much shuts me down. But I went for the Power Whip. I figured he'd switch, but better safe than sorry. I didn't wanna. Oh, I guess it wasn't much of a risk, but I didn't know what he was gonna. Let's see, we got the I'm switching out my Ferrothorn back into my Hydreigon for obvious super effective damage, plus Hydreigon the beast. He goes for, I believe this is his third layer spikes. It's either his second or his third. Or he's gonna get that black sludge. I think that's actually only his second, but he's gonna get that black sludge recovery. He's gonna withdraw here. He's gonna go into his, I believe this is, oh, his Mismagius. No, yes, Mismagius, that is correct. And then I'm gonna go for the flamethrower here. So I'm gonna do a decent amount. I get the burn, and it's a pretty important burn. And you might think, oh, Mismagius is a special attacker, but it's gonna get a decent amount of residual damage off. And I know Mismagius can carry the Dazzling Gleam, and I figure that's why he switched in. So I'm switching out into my Ferrothorn for the resistance to the Dazzling Gleam. And these entry hazards are really going to start taking a toll on my Ferrothorn. But that's about it. And he does go for the Dazzling Gleam. So it's a good read on my part. Does next to nothing damage-wise to me. You see he's going to slowly take some burn damage. And he's going to set up on me with his Nasty Plot. And I was okay with him setting up on me. I didn't think it would be too big of a deal. I'm still asleep. I figured as soon as I wake up, I'd take him out with the Gyro Ball. Easily floor. I don't think Mismagius has the best of defenses. See, that burn is slowly taking him down. You see, he goes for the Hex. When I did this battle, I had no idea about Hex. And for those of you who don't know, Hex has double damage if the Pokemon that it's targeting has a status. So if your Pokemon's asleep, frozen, burn, or paralyzed, Hex will do double the damage. Not to mention he was +2 plus stab, and so that was not very good. But I don't know if my Rotom would have finished. I knew I would have outsped him with the Scarf. I just don't know if the Volt Switch would have finished it off without that burn damage. If I hit the Hydro Pump definitely would have taken him out. It just would have been those hacks about having to hit it in the first place. But I switch out into my Hydreigon, and he goes into his Sableye. I know he's got that Prankster. He goes for the Toxic. He's probably like a Toxic Stall. But I go for the Draco Meteor. I mean, Sableye doesn't have super defenses, and this Draco Meteor easily floors him. Like I said, I'm holding the expert belt, so that Draco Meteor had no extra damage boost. So, and take a little bit of poison damage. He's gonna go out into his Roserade now. And I figure, even though I'm at -2, I got the expert belt, and it's super effective. Go for the flamethrower and take him out, but nope, he survives. So that is a very special defensively bulky Roserade. So he's gonna go out for the rest here. He's not holding the Chesto Berry, so he got the natural cure. So when he switches out, he's gonna be cured of his sleep. And I'm gonna switch out into my Togekiss. Figured I'd be able to do some damage with the air slashes. But he's gonna switch out as well, so double switch. He's gonna go out into his Umbreon, which is a very favorable switch in my favor to get that dazzling gleam damage off. Let's see, and then he goes for the protect here to probably to scout out what I'm gonna do, and also to get that leftovers recovery. So I go. He sees that I got the dazzling gleam. I didn't know if he was gonna stay in or not here because he is very special defensive. So I figured he'd probably be able to take one. Probably only do like 30-40% damage. But he goes back into his Roserade, and you see the natural cure. He's awake now. Go for the dazzling gleam, which he's gonna resist. So not too much damage off right there. He goes for another level of spikes. So there's this third level. He was really into getting down those entry hazards. 2 levels is pretty good. I think he just wanted to Dragon Tail me with that Aggron, that Mega Aggron, and keep on getting damage off. But he's gonna go for another rest here. Those air slashes are gonna take their toll, but gonna get that full health. I go for another air slash. This one didn't seem like it did as much damage as the first one did. That's about 35%. So I don't think that even 3 HKO after the Black Sludge recovery. You see he's still asleep. I go for the nasty plot. I'm gonna set up on him here. If he's gonna sleep, I'm gonna make sure that my air slash is a 1-hit KO, and I'll be able to take out that Umbreon. So you see he's gonna withdraw here. He probably wasn't expecting the nasty plot. So he's gonna go back into his Mega Aggron. He resists both my stabs. But I go for another nasty plot here. I wasn't expecting him to switch, but either way it makes no difference. And I know I'm way faster than that Mega Aggron. I go for the Dazzling Gleam, and Mega Aggron has pretty bad special defense, and I'm at +4 stab. So that's going to easily take out his Mega Aggron. And then go back into his Umbreon. And here he's going to surrender, knowing that he pretty much has no chance because I set up. It was a pretty good game. I really enjoyed his team and the originality of it. I thought it was a pretty good battle. And let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.